Okay, well, let's see how this goes. I'm back in my studio and able to deliver for you today the Moves news. And there is some news, and it's news on the sad side about Sidney Broadbent leaving us. And so my condolences to those who were very close to him. I know that he was a very family-oriented person, and he had many friends. So, yeah, like myself, I didn't spend a lot of time with Sid, although he did stay at my house in Victoria a few decades ago when he brought the retrofit kit to upgrade the skate sharpener that he invented to the incredible edger, which I've been using ever since. And I was using his original machine 10 years before that already. And the beauty of those machines is that they run on ball bearings, ball bearings, and so friction is very little. And so you can really control the speed and the pressure that you apply when you're passing the blade over the stone. So it's a beautiful idea. The original machine was pretty good. It was a little bit flawed because of the rocker curvature of the blade. It was on two rollers with one bar down below, so the blade came closer and farther. It swung a little bit, pivoted around that axis, the support axis, and so it did create a little slight bow in the sharpening levelness, and it was pretty negligible. But now he's corrected that with the double bar and double carriage system, for which I am so appreciative. So thank you, Sid, for hanging out on the planet for over 100 years, and your machine and the idea and the concept that went into that will endure as well. So you've got a reason to be very proud of your legacy, and we owe a great debt of appreciation and thanks to Sidney Broadbent for creating not only a wonderful skate sharpening machine, but when you order the machine, part of the package is the Skateology manual. Skateology, the study of skating. And I first got one of his machines, 30 or odd years ago, and I studied that Skateology manual cover to cover. And that's how I learned how to sharpen skates effectively. And it's been a continual experience and learning curve since that time. But Sid got me started on thinking about things that I hadn't thought about before. And it affected not only my ability to sharpen skates, but my ability to understand figure skating itself. Sid was an avid skater, I understand. And so making skate sharpening machines was his hobby. He was originally an engineer of sorts, and of course he was still an engineer in his hobby, and he was a passionate figure skater. And he came and saw our show when we went through town, the Tour of World and Olympic Figure Skating Championships. I invited Sid backstage into my room where I was the official sharpener on the tour, and showed him my machine, and he was all proud that his machine was being used in the biggest ice show on the planet. So yeah, and he was a wonderful house guest when he came and updated my machine, and he just exuded passion about skating and about equipment and about making discoveries and making things easier and doing things better. So it's like any inventor, you take some risks. It's not like everything he touched turned to gold either. He asked me to try his Gold Quest blades, these new blades that he was going to launch, and they were gorgeous. These Gold Quest blades, I fell in love with just the sight of them. So because they had a really cool sort of space age design. They started sort of small, and they got wider and smaller again, and the idea was they were thinner, so you needed kind of that width for structure as well. But I would have felt so cool wearing those blades, and yeah, so I mounted them on a pair of skates and went and skated around, and yeah, they felt pretty good. And I did an axle, and the landing, oh, what was that? The blade broke on my first axle. Oops, back to the drawing board, Sid, I'm so sorry. And in all fairness, I mean, maybe that should have been a big lesson to me to improve the softness of my landings, because yeah, I've learned a lot about biomechanics and the application of it since that time. But yeah, those Gold Quest blades, and another good idea of Sid's was the coplanar blades, which I used for many, many years. I had Espiteri coplanar boots and Pattern 99 coplanar blades. And flat means flat more precisely than often the blade plate, which is a curve. There's a rocker radius to the blade, and there's also a rocker radius to the boot and the blade plates. And Sid reasoned, well, if you just make it flat and flat, then they'll meet more perfectly, and then there won't be tensions on the blade when you try to screw it down and it doesn't meet. It's a real good idea. It didn't catch on, and I don't know. Even those coplanars, sometimes I think it had something to do with the manufacturing procedure. Perhaps they started with the ideal situation where the boot sole was flat, and then somehow it got a little bit warped, and the toe bent up a little bit, either when they attached the top to the sole or just in the drying procedure or whatnot. I'm just thinking out loud. So even that wasn't, I don't think it caught on in a big way, but I used it and I appreciated the thought that went into it. And yeah, with the Incredible Edger, that was a first-class operation, Sid, that you launched. That this is the levelness gauge which you use, and the beauty about this gauge is it's well, it doesn't look very beautiful because it's gotten kind of a little bit rusty in the Tokyo Mushietsui climate here. Natsu ni Mushietsui desu. Yeah, it's hot and humid here, and so that's not so good, but it still works fine. I lubricated so yeah, you use this to see if your sharpening is level, and you can loosen and extend it or shorten it depending on the use. Sometimes you can use this. Most times you can use this while the blade is still in the carriage, so you just sharpen, test, sharpen. You don't have to take the blade out of the carriage like you do for some. And then for Phantoms and Gold Seals, they have the concavity in the blade, and so you have to lengthen this to get a measure closer to the blade plates of where the flanks of the blade are perpendicular to the edges. So this is a very handy little tool. It's not just a toy, it's a really precision instrument which I cherish, and thank you, Sid, for all of your machines and accessories, not all of which I can mention at this time, but yeah, you can go to Ice Skate Conditioning Equipment Company in Littleton, Colorado. You can go to that website, and if you're going to order a machine and learn how to sharpen skates, I recommend the Incredible Edger. I've seen a lot of machines out there, and I really think it's the best. It's just a wonderful machine for so many reasons. And thank you, Sid, and rest in peace. And signing off now.